Trauma bonding part 2. Let's talk about the signs that you are trauma bonded and what that might look like if you don't know. If you're a person who's been in an abusive relationship or in one right now, can't leave, or are apart from that person, but you are struggling with coping because you were so severely trauma bonded, what are some signs that you are? Number 1, you don't even like the person, but you can't leave. It's like they've got this vice grip on you and it doesn't even make sense to you. You're like, on a logical level, on a cognitive level, you understand that you need to leave, but you can't. Okay, so that you don't even like the person, but you can't leave. You're isolating and you're pushing all the people around you who do really love you and care about you away because there's shame. And you know you're stuck and it makes no sense to everybody else, so now you feel even more shame because you feel stupid or you feel humiliated and embarrassed and that you should know better. So you start pushing away family members and remaining very quiet and just isolating. You are a person who will start canceling plans and not hanging out with friends anymore. This is where you lose yourself with an abusive person. They take control over everything and you're trying so desperately to get back to that safe homeostasis in your relationship. So, and get that love bombing back and that adoration and then that love and that kindness that gives us that sense of security, right? Especially with a person who has a history of complex trauma, childhood abuse. You don't have to be in order to be trauma bonded. You really don't. Not at all. You don't have to have a history of any of that. But people who do, these bonds tend to be a lot stronger. And it's really, really, really hard to break. Like I said, it's like a heroin addiction. And it takes a long time to get over. I did a video on here saying that if you are struggling with a trauma bond, always ask yourself this one question. What would a person do who loves themselves in this situation? What would a person who loves themselves do in this situation? And you always come back to the same answer. They wouldn't put up with the bad behavior and they would leave. It's almost like an out-of-body experience when you think about that. And it makes it pretty crystal clear. But for you, you tolerate the bad behavior. And we do it on a subconscious level. So those are some of the signs that you are trauma bonded. You will make excuses for your abusive person. When somebody comes at you and saying, hey, I don't like the way that they talk to you and treat you, you'll make excuses for them. If you've ever heard of Stockholm Syndrome, this is a form of Stockholm Syndrome. It's pretty much the same thing. It's when you are addicted to your abusive person and you protect them. It's psychological mind fuckery. Sorry, I try not to use bad language. Stay tuned for part 3.